Nintendo is officially confirmed to be returning to E3 2021. Will it be a Nintendo Direct and a few days of Treehouse Live? Considering recent years, yeah, probably. But that doesn't stop us from dreaming of game reveals like we always do. Nintendo tends to bring out the big guns at E3, so here's 9 things that I, Evan Langer, Mr. Nintendo for GameSpot Video, want from Nintendo at E3 2021. At the February Nintendo Direct, Eiji Aonuma confirmed that more Breath of the Wild 2 news would be coming later this year. Well, I can't think of a better time than E3. No rush to the developers since pretty much everything has been delayed due to all the happenings in the world, but getting Breath of the Wild 2 this year for the 35th anniversary of Zelda would be #1 epic victory royale.
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
If you want to know what we'd like to see in the Breath of the Wild sequel, then I recommend you check out the video I did with Max Blumenthal, which I'll link in the description below. Although admittedly, Breath of the Wild was supposed to come out in 2016 for the 30th anniversary, but got pushed to 2017, and that game was still great, so who cares about anniversaries? Speaking of anniversaries, if by this point we haven't heard anything about Zelda's 35th anniversary, I think this would be the perfect place for Nintendo to talk about it. Think about it. Wind Waker HD plus Twilight Princess HD on Switch, N64 Online with the first titles being Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask, Oracle of Seasons and Ages remake being teased for 2021 or later, Four Swords and Four Swords Adventures coming to the eShop. Okay, not all those things will happen, but I'd like Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD at least. Before you say anything, I'm not a port beggar, I promise, but hear me out. If Persona 5 Royal came to Switch to complement Persona 5 Strikers, I would like that. A lot. Persona 5 Royal is one of my favorite games of all time, and I love playing through it on PlayStation. But I see the Switch more and more as a great place to house some of the older Persona titles, like Persona 3 FES and Persona 4 Golden. Bet you didn't see that one coming.
You'll never see it.
Given the classic PSN stores closing, the list of modern platforms to play Persona 3 and 4 on is shrinking. If Nintendo were to announce both these titles on Switch, I'm sure it'd be huge. Persona 4 on PC lit up the Steam charts when it was announced. I would also like the Persona Q games to come to Switch so they aren't locked to 3DS, but I imagine 3 and 4 is a safer wish. Think about this. Metroid Prime 4 gets a new teaser trailer with a release date of 2022, and Nintendo announces that yes, Metroid Prime Trilogy is coming to Switch in early 2022, and Metroid Samus Returns is being ported to Switch. Happy 35th birthday, Samus! At least I remembered. Will Nintendo do anything for Metroid's 35th birthday? Probably not. Anyways, completely biased here, but I love Pikmin. If you haven't played Pikmin 3 Deluxe, you absolutely should. The franchise never took off in any meaningful ways, but with Nintendo using Pikmin as their next mobile game, I think now is the best time to release an official 4th entry. You know how it goes. People download the mobile game, and they like it, so they look for more Pikmin, which they find on Switch. It's one big marketing circle, and I'm here for it. Say what you will about Nintendo's legacy offerings through its online service, but at this point, it really should expand beyond NES and SNES. I know there's likely some tricky emulation stuff to do under the hood, and it's probably not as easy as just quickly porting the games over, but with Xbox really committing to not only preserving old games, but improving them, I'd love to see Nintendo follow suit. N64 seems like the next step, and I'm fully in support of it, but it's time for GameCube to get the legacy treatment. Both the Wii and Wii U Virtual Console skipped over the GameCube, and the price of almost every GameCube game has skyrocketed on the secondhand market. Super Smash Bros. Melee, Pikmin 1 and 2, Luigi's Mansion, Monkey Ball 1 and 2, Shark Tale, Mario Kart Double Dash, and the list goes on. Nintendo, please!
Good? Alright? Can't touch this. Can't touch this.
ARMS 2. Yeah, you heard me. ARMS is sweet, and it's one of my favorite fighting games. The biggest thing I'd want from a sequel is a proper story mode. Really dig deep into the lore of this world where people get extendable arms by putting on a mask, and how some people are born with it while others aren't. Add some new characters to complement the remainder of the cast too. ARMS sold well, and I think it simultaneously came out at a good and bad time. Good in that it was the first year of the Switch, so it was a hot new item. Bad in that it was sandwiched between Breath of the Wild and Splatoon 2. ARMS 2 will get its time to shine, I know it.
Spurring to the top!
A lot of people don't like the Wii U games on Switch thing, and I do get it, but I personally like it. There are a lot of games I missed on Wii U for one reason or another, and having these titles accessible to more people is always a good thing. With Miitopia being announced for Switch in the February Nintendo Direct, I hope this is the start of more 3DS games coming to Switch. If they announce a Link Between Worlds HD, I would buy it in a heartbeat, and Triforce Heroes with proper online play and chat would make a mediocre game slightly better. By this point, you could probably tell I like Zelda a lot, but there are dozens of other amazing 3DS games that deserve a second life on Switch, and whatever Nintendo chooses, I'm excited. It's Witch time. And that's it. Enough said on that. Now, of course, I don't expect all these things to happen, and I'm fully in support of developers taking the time they need to make the games the best they can be. But I wanted to throw all of this into the wild to see if anything will stick. Anything you want to see from Nintendo at E3 2021, let us know in the comments below, and for all the latest on Nintendo, stay tuned to GameSpot.